Ladies and gentlemen, it is my distinct honor to welcome one of the greatest rock stars of all times. And she is the co-founder of probably one of the best rock bands ever. And not only that, but was the first rock band that was founded, or fronted, I should say, by the ladies. And I've had a crush on her for about 35 years. Please welcome to the show, Nancy Wilson from Heart. Nancy, how are you?
Hey, good, Willie. How are you doing today?
Oh, I'm doing wonderful now. I just wanted to start off real quick. You are from a military background.
I am. I'm a Marine Corps brat.
Yeah. It's somewhere it said that your father had retired when you were young, fairly young. Is that right?
Yeah, but he retired during the Vietnam War because he felt it was an unconscionable war, you know? Uh-huh. And he'd already been a lifer. He'd already been in the service for over 25, I think, years. Same with his brother, same with his father. Mm-hmm. His father retired as a brigadier general.
Oh, wow.
And, you know, his my uncle, too. So we're kind of from a military aristocracy, I guess you'd say.
Yeah, sure. Uh-huh. So the reason I have you on is you have a big event coming up in July that I'm very envious of, that I'd like you to talk about, if that's okay.
Yes, of course.
Okay. The reason I say I'm envious is as a producer myself, I've been dying to put something together of this nature, with an orchestra. I love orchestras. I'm a musician myself, and not for me to sing with an orchestra, but for others to do so. And you get to do that.
I get to do that. I get to go to my hometown of Seattle, and rehearse at the beginning of July for a concert on the 9th of July with the Seattle Symphony, you know, featuring a lot of the new stuff on my new album, which is called You and Me, the new album, as well as a few Heart songs that are really familiar to us all. Yeah. I have a singer coming in to help me with some of the Heart material, Liv Warfield, who was in a band with me just recently, a couple years ago actually, called the Road Case Royale, and we worked together quite a few times, and she is a singer extraordinaire. You know, she's got no limits to the power of her voice. So it's going to be really fun. I'm really looking forward to this event. Mm-hmm. There's going to be a live audience, right, but it is a benefit, so it's a high, ticket thing. It's a high price ticket thing. Sure. But it's also going to be streamed on Seattle Symphony Live. Okay. So there's a way to see it, even if you don't want to spend the money and sit in the room at the same time. So if you want to find out more, you just go visit the seattlesymphony.org. And if you want to reserve a spot, or if you want to set it up to watch the stream, then they'll have everything you need right there. Okay. Awesome.
That doesn't come together overnight. How does that start? Putting that together?
Well, a friend of mine, who is a longtime Seattleite and a co-songwriter with me, a collaborator, Sue Ennis, is a dear friend and worked a lot on the new album too with me. Uh-huh. She's all hooked up in the Seattle area with the various Grammy, association people and the symphony people and a lot of the people doing theater in town there. And she knows this guy named Andrew Jocelyn, who's the head of the Seattle Symphony. And I said, well, hey, I wanted to get some string parts on one of the songs for my album, and maybe I could ask him to do the honors. And so he did an amazing string arrangement for one of my songs. And then he said, hey, how about we do a concert? There's no shows right now, so we could actually plan it way ahead and probably use the hall itself, the Benaroya Hall Performance Arts Center, as our rehearsal space as well. Oh, sure. Which is incredibly, fortunate to be able to do it like that. instead of, renting out another space and then moving all your gear around. So this way we could set up a few days early from the show and just work on the show with the symphony.
Sure.
And, tune up the room and make it all real sweet. Mm-hmm. So I'm really looking forward. I always like to get my hands on an orchestra wherever I can get one. I've only had a few opportunities in the past to do such a thing, and usually it was on a few heart songs along the way in the studio. Mm-hmm. And when I did score music for film, I never ended up really having a real symphony involved. So it's been a long time since I, had a chance to really get into a room with a real symphony and experience that, all-time incredible high that happens only with a real live orchestra.
Have you started rehearsal yet?
I'm rehearsing at home right now. Uh-huh. Just trying to drill and get my, because it's been over a year and I haven't really been on a stage.
Really?
And, so it's, it's kind of like, okay, now I need to, remember how to chew gum and walk at the same time because, you have to sing and play and read, remember how the words go and at least know the words well enough so that on a teleprompter you're not reliant on the sheet of paper or the teleprompter in front of you. And it's going well. I've just got started with my, 2 weeks to go till I get the actual into the room with those guys. And so I'm kind of, just working at it.
Right. Are you playing guitar too?
Oh yeah, I'm playing some guitar. I'm playing electric guitar, acoustic guitar, some mandolin, and one song I'm going to be playing the Coconuts.
Oh. Right.
There's a song called The In Between where that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to play the Coconuts on that song and sing it at the same time.
Are you classically trained in guitar?
Well, no, I never was, really took lessons. I took, a couple of classical lessons because I was interested in classical playing, but I never had time to follow through with it. So I learned a little bit of technique, which I use, but mainly I just pound away on the acoustic guitar. Yeah, because kind of like a rhythm instrument,
Yeah, but it's got kind of the Crazy on You has got kind of a classic guitar intro, doesn't it?
Yeah, there's a little bit of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit of some of those positions that, that I utilize here and there. I mean, I learned a lot about almost classical guitar playing from Elton John, believe it or not, because those are like intervals and chord structures that highly resemble, because they're on a piano, they kind of resemble more like classical style positions. And so, I learned a lot of different techniques from Elton John and from, Led Zeppelin and the Beatles and all the various influences along the way.
Oh, you brought up the Magic Band now. I have to ask you about this. You did.
The Magic Band.
Yeah, you did a great tribute to Led Zeppelin in 2012 at the Kennedy Center when they were inducted. And that, again, is a production that doesn't come together overnight, does it?
No. We had the opportunity. We were, we know this really cool guy at CAA, and he was the conduit between us being getting the chance to be, part of that. And because we'd sort of been known for many years as Little Led Zeppelin, because we always played a lot of Led Zeppelin songs in our sets. And to the extent to which we were kind of like, okay, we got to limit it down to like only 2, per set, because we know so many Led Zeppelin songs. And we just didn't want people to think, we're just trying to be a cover band. So we had our own songs to do too. So when the opportunity arose, we were like, we'll take it.
Sure.
But we were already out on the road, so we had to kind of fit it in. It was going to be a day off for us, but we had to fly private to go to Washington, D.C. from I can't remember where. And we had one rehearsal the day before the show.
Wow.
And it was good in a way just because I knew the song forever, and somebody once gave me $20 to play it by myself.
Really?
But yeah, that's quite a song,
Sure.
just to pull off.
Yeah.
But so yeah, we got the gig, and they'd already been rehearsing with all of the various tiers of orchestration and
Right.
the two different choirs and the string section, the smaller sections and the larger sections and the reveals,
Sure.
with all of that. And so when we finally got there, we slotted right into the show, and it was one of the more incredible moments to be able to experience.
Mm-hmm.
We couldn't see up in the balcony. We could not see, with the lights, so we couldn't tell how it was going. We could tell we were doing a good job.
Sure.
And the people in the front were really enjoying themselves, and people like Yo-Yo Ma were just rocking out,
Yeah.
And, but it was like, hey, no pressure, because, it's like the president, the first lady, and Led Zeppelin, and a bunch of dignitaries.
You got Letterman in there, too. Jeez.
Oh, Letterman was in there, yeah. All kinds of, important folks. And so, believe me, we took a deep breath before
I'm sure. It was very impressive, though. I mean, it came together so well. Do you remember at all what you were thinking during the performance while you were doing it? Some of the thoughts that came to your head?
Well, I was really concentrating on exactly the music of it all, because I had to start by myself in that room. And it's one of those things where you can't allow your own brain to disrupt the actual performance itself. You have to disassociate your brain from your performance. Sure. So that all you are is a performer, and you're not thinking about, oh my God, I'm going to screw it up, Usually if you allow your brain to do that, then you do screw up. And there was not one of those occasions where it was possible to screw up. So
oh, well, yeah.
It was just really focused, really, really focused.
Were you intimidated at all?
Oh God, yeah. I mean,
so.
my knees were fluttering, But, when you do something a long time and you've done it under so many different extenuating circumstances like that, you just do it. You just buckle down with a performance like that.
And having Jason Bonham on the drums was spectacular, of course.
Of course. I mean, I'm positive to a large degree that later when I saw the show edited in the way that they all had such an emotional reaction, a lot of that was probably due to the fact that young Jason as a kid was just their little mascot kid running around when they were writing, recording stuff and practicing. So I'm sure that made an emotional impact on those Zeppelin guys a lot, because it's part of their whole story from the very beginning.
Sure. Tell us about some of the reaction you got from the guys from Led Zeppelin.
Well, yeah, there was like a governor's ball kind of dinner afterward. And each guy from Zeppelin came up individually, and John Paul Jones was like, you guys did great, because we'd worked with him before on an album once that he produced with us, a live album called The Road Home, back in the early 90s. And so we were already kind of tight with him. And we'd met him all before, but then Robert Plant came over, and he said, I have learned to really come to hate that song because so many people just murder that song.
Yes.
And they just do, terrible things to that song. And so but he was like, but you really, really got it right and you really nailed it. And we were like, oh my God, and then when Jimmy Page told me that he thought I did a great job playing the part, I was like, oh man, okay, died and gone to heaven time, you know.
Well,
but those guys are all very sweet and really respectful, and they're such inventors and such great musicians that gave so much to the world of music. Mm-hmm. It was just like such a great. It was just a tremendous opportunity and a tremendous moment to be able to tribute them.
Sure.
They who'd inspired us in so many ways for so long.
Mm-hmm. Well, the ones the people that screw it up always screw up the intro, don't they? Because they can't seem to do it right the first time. I don't know. It seems that way. They just can't seem to nail it down right.
Well, for one thing, too, the intro's pretty intricate.
Yes.
It's kind of a classical kind of a thing, once again. But then also being able to nail that vocal. Mm-hmm. Because it really goes all over the place, and it goes into the stratosphere as well. Yeah. And there's not many people, men or women, really can do that stuff. Mm-hmm. So we were just cut out to do that, I guess.
You just did an awesome job. I just love watching you do it,
Yeah. It kind of went viral like a few times over.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, this has been wonderful, Nancy. I can't thank you enough for being on my show.
Well, you bet, Willie. It's great to talk to you.
To tell them about your concert once more on July 9th and how to get it.
Yep. In Seattle, Washington on July 9th at the Benaroya Hall, there's going to be a live show featuring some Heart material as well as some of my new songs from my new album, my new first ever solo album called You and Me. And if you want to be involved or visit Seattle Symphony Live to get hooked up with the live stream, or you can also find out more, reserve a spot at the actual show, seattlesymphony.org.
Awesome.
Yeah. Well, July 9th.
Can I ask you one question?
Yeah.
Can I have you back on the show to talk about your history, earlier songs after the concert, maybe?
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just talk to, I guess, Melissa, right?
Michelle.
I'm sorry, Michelle.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll talk to Michelle and we'll set something up.
Okay. Awesome.
After the show.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Please do. Okay.
Cool. All righty.
Well, it's been a pleasure, an honor, and my heart is still pounding, so I have to get off. No.
That's so sweet. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Nancy.
All right.
Okay.
Thanks a lot, Willie.
Uh-huh.
Talk to you later.
Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye.